Welcome everyone, back again for another Cook with Jase episode. We're on to our third episode now, and today I want to show you one of my favourites. And I kid you not, if you've got someone in the family who doesn't like their veggies, this will address that, okay? It is my famous Italian veggie recipe, guys. And you'll notice that in the prep here, we've actually got quite a large bowl of Brussels sprouts. Now, I know that's a no-no for many kids out there, but let me show you how to make them taste awesome and take advantage of the fact that they're really, really cheap, they're really filling, and for anyone watching their calories out there, really low in calories, which goes for the rest of it. So let's show you how to amplify the flavor for these veggies. Let's do it in a bulk amount because again, I want to save you time cooking so that you can actually reheat this, take it to work, have an extra dinner, get some extended life out of this, guys. So we've really got the Brussels, we've got some onions, capsicums, carrot, some fresh beetroot, really, really cheap, cauliflower, semi-dry tomatoes, olives. Now, please always buy whole olives with the pit in. If you buy pitted olives, you're going to lose so much of the flavor. It's a little bit more work to take that pit out, but it is worth it for the flavor, guys. We've also got some olive oil. We've got black pepper, thyme, rosemary, oregano, so classic Italian herbs, and some pink Himalayan rock salt on there as well. So let's get started, guys. Now, first thing, remember to keep your Brussels separate, and I'll tell you why. So let's get on to the prep, guys. Let's work at the cauliflower first. So easiest way, we're probably not going to use all of this cauliflower. I want you to halve it. Now, the reason why, this will give you a very good indication of where to start cutting these florets off, all right? And I just want you to start nipping them off, keeping them fairly whole. So this is something that's going to save you time. Keep the leaves in there as well. You don't really want to throw those out. That'll all go through the same cooking process. So again, you've got nice chunks of those florets of cauliflower in there. And cauliflower is a great vegetable. It's such a neutral flavored vegetable. People even use it for rice. Now we come to the stalk. How do I deal with that? Go for your harbour bridge, push down. If you haven't seen how we chop things, go back to our previous episodes and literally set that guard up and just cut it into chunks. So you're not wasting anything. Still a hell of a lot of vitamins and minerals in these here, guys, okay? And once they're cooked, rolled around in those herbs and spices, you won't know the difference. Now, eggplant. A lot of people will cut their eggplant, they'll add some salt to it to draw that moisture content out and bitterness out, but the way that we're doing it today, you don't need that, okay? So just nip the top off. And again, remember when we're cutting things, we want flat surfaces. We're starting off, it's fairly unstable. So again, set yourself, harbour bridge, and push down. And we've halved it. Now we've got solid surface, exactly what we want. So let's just cube this. So in terms of the ratios, at the moment, you want to keep it seasonal, keep it cost effective. We've got our eggplant here. It's one of the more expensive options. So I've only got one. It's one of those vegetables, if you haven't tried it, please do. You're going to amplify the flavour of this dish, okay? Eggplants are absolutely fantastic. They're, again, a blank canvas. They do soak up a lot of flavour. So I've got the whole eggplant in there. Okay, next up, capsicum. Let's just go down the sides of that capsicum. Now, if we keep this a very similar size in terms of the area you're cutting for each different vegetable, we're going to get a very similar cooking time. So just chunk that up, and that's a pretty good serving size right there. Capsicum's very high in natural sweetness, so that there is going to run through the entire dish, and it wouldn't be an Italian dish without capsicum in it, guys. So now they're quite expensive at the moment, so we'll only put one in. Carrots, cheap as chips. They're generally pretty cost effective, guys. So just nip off the ends of your carrots. No need to peel your carrots. Keep that extra skin on, extra vitamins, minerals, and also fiber content. So there's great health benefits. Now, carrots have less water content. We want to cut these into around about a centimetre thick piece so it cooks evenly with everything else. Now, as I said, you really want to use more vegetables like this that are a bit cheaper so you can make your dish go further. So we've got our carrots in there. We won't use that extra capsicum. Onions, brown onions, extremely cheap. Easiest way is to literally halve your onion. Now, you guys probably would have noticed the last couple of videos I've detailed that onions generally get me. I generally go to tears with the old onions. I've been pretty lucky so far, so we're all waiting for that episode where you see Jase cry because of the onion. Fingers crossed, it won't be today. So when we did our meal prep with our veggies, it's a very similar premise. This is something, because it's in layers, will break down, the natural sweetness will flow through the entire dish. So what I want to do is, again, keep it fairly rough, fairly rustic chunks, okay? And those will naturally break and segment apart as onions do. The flavour will distribute through the entire pan, and that's exactly what you want. So same again. Halve that onion, make it easy to peel. And I say keep it seasonal. So we regularly do this dish. It's something that, it's kind of like a classic really. You can really pair it with any sort of a protein. You could use a similar herb mix in terms of that oregano, thyme, rosemary. You could do roast chicken. It pairs well with lamb, beef. You can even do seafood with it, guys. So there's not really any limits as to what this can be paired with. And even if you're taking it to lunch, you're going to be the envy of your friends. I'll tell you that now. If they've got a standard microwave meal that they're heating up, it ain't going to cut it. Whole beetroot. I saw these today on special. They're half price. If you can get them, these are a food because of their high fiber content that will make you feel fuller for longer, guys. There's so much vitamin and mineral packed into these little fellas, but not a lot of water content. So we need to make sure, similar to the carrot, we need to cut it a little bit finer. So don't need to peel them. Literally, all I want you to do is to cut it into around about 1/2 centimetre chunks and distribute that through. So take advantage of whatever is in season at the moment. Beetroot, probably not traditional in terms of an Italian theme, but again, once they're roasted down, they'll actually add a lot of natural sweetness to the mix. And it's all about amplifying that flavour, guys. So we really want to do that. So make sure you get a couple of those in there. Again, it's about fast, nutritious meals. Heaps of colour in there as well. And you're probably starting to get very nervous because the next thing that's up is the Brussels. But don't worry. I know a lot of you out there have been subjected to the horrible boiled Brussels sprouts. Say no more. Brussels are special. They get their own dish. Now, where I've done a double layer of our baking paper to help cleaning, even though it's a non-stick pan, we don't do anything with this. I want these Brussels to leach their natural carbohydrate sugar content, and I want it to actually catch and caramelize on this pan, and we're gonna keep stirring it around. We're gonna add some extra virgin olive oil, bit of pepper, these Italian herbs as well, and amp up that flavor, guys. So the best part about this is you don't really have to cut them up. If you leave them whole, they're gonna take the same time roasting as what you will see for the other ones. So just fill up your tray enough, because I don't want this too crowded. As you can see, we've literally got a covering of the plate and no more. So we'll just move these aside for now. Right, now let's get some Italian vibe going on here. Semi-dried tomato. You could leave them whole, but what you can do is, if you actually shred them, it will melt into the sauce. So just be nice and quick with your knife. Don't have to spend too much time on it, but just make sure it's nice and fine so that it really does melt. Distribute that flavour all the way through. Next up, we're going to run our knife through the olives. We'll take the pits out of them. Nothing worse than chomping down on a pit that's been left in the olive, so that is really something to take your time with, guys. Okay, so sprinkle. We're going to sprinkle over our veggies. Now we're going to have this on a high heat, around about 200 to 220. Because of that, I want you to give it a stir occasionally. We want caramelisation, but we don't want it burnt. Okay, so best way with your olives is to cut down the side until you can see the pit, and then just gradually dig your finger in and work your way around. So we're not going for presentation with this, guys. We're literally just going to get that pit out of there. And we know, as I said before, that when you use olives in their whole form, you're actually going to get a greater flavor content, and that's what we want. We want that flavor content. We want food to be interesting. I want you to enjoy your food, okay? Enliven nutrition, what we push for, we're thinking this food is fuel, but I really want to get your relationship with food to a good point. There's so many people that really start to fear food, okay? It might be because of weight gain, it might be because of ill health, but fear is such a powerful motivator, okay? And what you can often do is restrict yourself to a bunch of foods that you know may not going to upset you, or you may restrict yourself to eating a certain amount of foods because you found that it doesn't put weight on. It's like anything, guys. If you've got a meal plan, some sort of a commercial program that you're following, it's a one size fits all. And the biggest part of that is you're not actually going to learn, okay? Knowledge is your greatest power. So what we do, we run educational programs to teach you the value of, firstly, what food is worth. And then after that point in time, we teach you what your requirements are. And then in a very practical manner, we workshop with you how to build meals that are actually going to hit your nutrient targets. So that knowledge is the greatest power, because there are going to be times in life where you can't control your food supply. So you're going to get given food and you've got a choice, okay? Just because it's on the plate doesn't mean you have to eat it all right? It's, again, a bit of a hard analogy. I know there's a lot of people that come from a generation that if you dished up the food, you eat it. Not so. We've got plate sizes that are getting bigger. Portion sizes are getting bigger, okay? It's distorting the norm in terms of what a meal should look like. People also, they aren't taking as much time with their meals. This becomes a problem. It generally takes around about 15 to 20 minutes for your food to really give you that feeling of satiety once you've eaten it. So we all know that person that inhales their food, okay? You're really, really hungry, and this is the whole analogy of not going to the supermarket when you're really, really hungry. You're gonna make some pretty bad choices because of it. So you really wanna be able to plan that. And that's something that we work with our clients to be able to achieve. It's all about that long-term sustainability aspect, and unfortunately it's something that I think should really be in a school system, an educational component, so that you can grow up. It's an essential life skill to know what food is worth. Right, olives, rock chop, but what we want to do, harbour bridge, hand on top so we're not cutting our fingers off, and back, forward, run through again until we've got a nice, fine mix of these olives. So it's the same premise as a semi-dry tomato. What we want to do, we want to make sure that when we're stirring it through, we're getting a nice coating on all of those veggies. Olives under heat release their flavour, okay? It's like getting a massive magnifying glass and amplifying that. So let's just sprinkle those olives on top of both the Brussels and also the roast veg. The same thing with cooking, guys. I'll just wash my hands a little bit and rinse them. So it's the same premise with cooking, really. Knowledge is power. So if you know what herbs can combine, and we've got here, as I said, rosemary, thyme, oregano. Let's just sprinkle that generously across all of these. So if you've got that knowledge, you can pair things and you can take your meals to any part of the globe. We do have some great herb and spice resources that we've made up, so if anyone's interested in those, let us know. We'll be able to pop those in the comments. Anyone that's worked with us, we generally give you those for free as well, just to give you an idea of how you can use them. Himalayan rock salt, just a pinch across all. People might get a bit worried about the links to high blood pressure and salt. Recent evidence has suggested that it's more of a genetic link. So some people are responders to actual sodium increasing their blood pressure. Other people can eat salt all day and get away with it. just some cracked black pepper. Again, I'll just quickly wash my hands, get that pepper off there. Right, now, you don't have to add the extra virgin olive oil, okay? Remember, a tablespoon is going to really increase the calorie content, but when we're looking at the entire dish here, it's distributed and coated throughout, you're gonna be fine. So what you want, especially over the Brussels, is a decent drizzle, and same with the roast veg. Now, if you remember, our premise when we were doing our previous ones, mix through, guys. I want a really nice coating. Every part of that vegetable should be coated in that herb. Get your hands dirty. And you know what? If you don't mind a little bit of extra mess, get your kids involved. Nothing better than seeing kids in the kitchen learning this as well. You'll be surprised. Shout out to NSA Hockey. I did a junior development camp with the kids there. You guys are absolute legends. Fantastic. If you're watching, get into the kitchen, guys. Okay, learning about how food can be your fuel to promote your development. So it's not only your growth, making sure you're nice, strong, healthy. It's how to use food as your petrol to make sure that you're training and performing at your best, guys. So food as fuel is not only something that we talk about quite a lot as looking at a weight loss perspective, it's also making your body run optimally as well as it possibly can. So nice, thorough mixing through. Okay, and these are ready to go in the oven. Make sure you give these a nice stir around. Now you're going to start to see the caramelisation happening, and the semi-drieds are going to release a little bit of the oil that was on them as well. So you can hear that sizzling. That's exactly what you want. Also got the herbs toasting at the bottom of the pan. So let's keep that even coating going of that olive oil. And again, I'll tell you what, guys, if you didn't like Brussels before, they're going to be one of the first things you chuck in your trolley at the supermarket. And there we have it, guys. Check out these Brussels sprouts. Now, I'll tell you what, the caramelisation on those, you've had the semi-dried and the olives also going through that with a little bit of olive oil. They are going to be packed full of flavour. I've got our roast veg here stirred through. Let me just grab a mitt so I don't completely burn my hand, but you can see the caramelisation has gone through there. All the herbs are well mixed through. You've got your onion and capsicum particularly have leached through their natural sugars. That is something, guys, that will last you a week. Well worth the effort, and it doesn't take long to do. Really think of food as your fuel, guys. Let's get you cooking less, enjoying your food more. Let's get you to your goals, guys. So if you want more information about food as fuel, jump on the Enliven nutrition page, send us a PM, we'll get back to you, have a chat about your requirements and how we can help you to reach your goals, but more importantly, how to sustain them. That's it for today. I look forward to seeing you with another episode soon.